Raymond Angel in Chu.
Starting five brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory, feel more game with 1xBet. Sarangani with the backcourt of Charles Caliano and Kit Jimenez at center, Koy Alves at the forward spots, King Destacamento and Junji Halyare. For Manila, John Fa, Achi Inigo, Tecoy Lopez, Richard Albo, and rounding up their five is James Ambrosio. Referees for this ball game, Maynard Centeno, Leonardo Layosa, and Karina Martin. Fourth man is Ray Gabriel. Two teams that like to play fast, but also not a lot of defense. So let's see which one gives here between Sarangani and Manila. Both second to the last in their respective divisions in the team standings. Agad-agad si Koy Alves sumugod. Rebound controlled by Richard Albo.
Yeah, two of the worst defensive teams in the league this season. Manila, number one, 106.3 points per game. That's how much they're giving up per contest, while Sarangani is giving up 89.4 points per game.
Yung isa, di ba?
Yes.
Tama, silang dalawa nga.
That was Judel's first season in the MPBL.
And a stellar one with San Juan.
But that was still a very different Mindoro team than what we're seeing this year.
Richard Albo with a miss. Caliano. Junji Halyare. Lobs it up to Koy Alves. Kick out pass. Jimenez swings it to Junji Halyare. The one-hander is good.
Expect a lot of pace and space in this game, lalo't lalo na para sa Sarangani. Wala si RV Bringas dito sa laro na to.
Tecoy Lopez. Hand off to Achi Inigo. Albo catches the pass to John Fa. 6 seconds a shot clock ng Manila. Richard Albo with a tough shot.
Konti lang talaga yung mga masasabi mong masasamang tira na ila-launch nito ni Richard Albo, no? In my opinion, that was well challenged. Defense was all over that shot. And I thought before he released it na hindi aabot, but it had a good line and it went in.
Caliano susubok ng tres. Nakuha ni Albo yung rebound para sa Manila.
And that's just how good of a scorer he really is. Ito si Richard Albo. He's still playing at a high level despite all these years.
Already 39 years old but still going strong. John Fa, the pull-up high arcing jumper, puts it in.
This guy definitely has lots of years ahead of him. 19 years old. Imagine that. He's 20 years the junior of Richard Albo and already averaging these kinds of numbers here in the MPBL. This guy's averaging 15 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, and 6.9 assists.
And prior to their game against Batangas, established the record for himself as the youngest player to have 16 assists in a ball game.
That's crazy. I mean, yeah, obviously he is in a team that is struggling to get wins, but still to be doing it against grown men and players who already have a lot of experience under their belts, that's still an amazing feat for a 19-year-old kid who's in his first stint in professional basketball.
6-4 agad ang ating score.
Sarangani's been going a lot to Koy Alves underneath the past two possessions, back-to-back hits para kay Koy Alves.
Ambrosio, the left side, drives baseline and stepped out of bounds on the baseline.
This is another kid that I have been very impressed with. Ito si Dustin Ambrosio.
This is the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Nice to see Kit Jimenez with a couple of nice dimes to start this game. Remember, he's very comfortable playing in this venue. This was the very building where he got that historic quadruple-double.
Dito pala yun, no? Sino yung kalaban nila nun? Naalala mo pa?
Ako nakalimutan ko na.
Nonetheless, what an astonishing feat for Kit Jimenez. And to this day, siya lang yung naka-quadruple-double in MPBL.
For the past, I don't know how many years, dalawa pa lang sila ni Don Belbilano in Philippine basketball history.
But I think what's more impressive with how Kit Jimenez did it as Junji Alyari scores, dito sa MPBL, we only have 10-minute quarters,
Correct, oo. At nagawa ni Don Belbelano yun sa NBA.
which had 12-minute quarters during that time. But both feats equally impressive. But ito si Junji Alyari nagpapaitang gilas na rin para sa Sarangani. Lamang sila ngayon ng 6 na puntos, 10-4.
Reinforced in the grippers game. Si Coach Toto, defensive coach talaga. Dumating siya with the mindset na kailangan may disiplina at effort ang bawat isa sa amin. That's why he's now doubling down on hard work, wanting to do his part on both ends of the floor. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. And Junji Alyari certainly has picked it up in the last 5 games, averaging 13.8 points. As Richard Albo goes coast to coast for the layup plus a foul.
Well, Lyra talked about that defensive pedigree that Coach Toto Trujillo brings in. But wait, let's check out this fast break first.
Brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke.
They talk about, the defensive pedigree that Coach Toto Trujillo brings in. But in that possession, nobody stopping the basketball. That's a cardinal sin on the fast break.
I think that's the part of the reason why dinala nila si Coach Toto dito sa Sarangani, no? Just put the premium on that end of the floor. As Richard Albo off target on that pass intended for Achi Inigo. 12-6. 5:23 left here in the first. Italiano brings the ball down para dito sa Sarangani. Charles still with the basketball. Koy Alves finally gets it. Oh, able to get past the defense for the deuce.
Lost it for a bit. It wasn't counted as a dribbling violation because someone else had a hand on it. Someone else from the defense. That's why he was allowed to continue play and find his way near the basket.
Pasa napunta kay Richard Albo. Laban kay Koy Alves. Dustin Ambrosio with a jumper.
Another homegrown para sa Manila. He's been playing well as of late. Only averaging 6.9 points for the season. But he's had some double-digit performances this year.
How about that acrobatic finish by Kit Jimenez?
I'd really love to see Kit Jimenez back to his old form. He's really had to go through so much these past 2-3 years.
John Farr immediately going right at Kit on their offensive trip, but this was the Gixxer great move the game. Born for greatness, Kit Jimenez. Hang time move.
It's nice to see that he's able to do these kinds of shots. Again, ito si Kit Jimenez. And for the time talagang hirap siya. Makadrive lang, makatalo ng ganyan kataas.
John Farr making his free throw. 71.6% at the line, but 15 points, close to 7 assists. Ooh, bad miss.
Medyo nadilasata sa kanya yung bola.
And the outside jumper remains a work in progress.
Oh yeah.
Because he's only shooting, I think, below 15% from beyond the arc.
The thing is, he hasn't really needed to shoot those threes just yet. This is a team which likes to really push the pace but doesn't really like shooting a lot of three-point shots. Ito Manila Batang Quiapo. Pinapaubayan na lang nila yan kila Achi Inigo tsaka kay Richard Albo. But Fa himself as the lead point guard is just really tasked to push the basketball, set it up for his shooters, and go to the basket.
LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Gusto nila takbuhan eh. So walang kapaguran to, itong Manila. They're actually leading by a mile in terms of fast break points. And that's amazing considering they've already had 12 games. They have a good sample size already. Pero yun nga eh, Ang flip side naman nun, talagang nagpapamigay din sila na napakaraming puntos.
Siyempre, young legs obviously is one of the reasons why they're able to do this. But even with young legs, it's still quite difficult to achieve that kind of feat. So that's just a testament to how good of a physical conditioning they get in their practice.
Diputado and Malyari together in the backcourt now for Sarangani. That pass, medyo ispalinghado, intended, papunta kay Koy Alves. (18-9) is the count. John Fa gives it up to Richard Albo. Fa laban kay Diputado. Oh, steps back, leaving Diputado and making that jumper from 20 feet.
Well, he may not have a three-point shot, but that's one of the things that he does well. Those step-back jumpers from mid-range.
Pang sa ngayon yun yung range niya no?
Oh,
Yung mid-range talaga. 18-11.
konti na lang sila dito sa liga that are really mid-range artists.
12 seconds remaining here. At the post, Decoy Lopez laban kay King Destacamento. Lopez 4 on their shot clock. Decoy pass inside. Canlas gets the bounce.
Caught ball watching there. Yung bantay ni Canlas na si Diputado didn't expect him to be lurking around that area of the basket on the right side.
Offensive rebound grabbed by Sarangani. Under 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 1. Koy Alves iniwan ng libre ni Richard Albo, and that's why bad miss from the outside. John Fa, skip pass, Albo laban kay Koy Alves. John Fa thought about it. Kick out pass to Canlas, forcing it up. That's a bad miss.
Bad shot too. He still had time to either pass it off or dribble in to a better looking attempt.
Hindi na yan tira ng maayos eh. Richard Albo scooting inside for the reverse.
Damn! Richard Albo showing us the Pinoy step. See here, forward pass by Decoy Lopez. Look how he was able to fool Destacamento with that Pinoy step that we've been seeing so much nowadays. Richard Albo certainly still one of the deadliest scorers in the league.
18-15 Sarangani with a 3-point lead. Pasay.
Excited ka na ba, Ken?
Oo naman. Kahit malayo.
Well, but believe me, it's quite an experience, to be covering there. Matindi-tindi rin ng mga fans ng Abra. They're very passionate basketball fans and they love their team.
And they always pack that stadium.
Oh yeah. At saka, ang maganda rin sa Abra, there is a stadium that is being built.
Okay.
A new stadium.
Much bigger.
Much bigger, definitely. So that's something that we're waiting to see. And that's definitely going to be an explosive, blockbuster game against the Quezon Huskers. Talagang hindi magpapatalo yung parehong kupunan na yan, even if it's a north and south battle.
Grabe, kahit yung mga ligang labas sa Abra, I've heard a lot of stories.
Talagang dinadayo yan ng mga magagaling na player.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Like, they really, literally fight tooth and nail just to win those games as we wind down quarter number 1, and end of quarter number 1, Sarangani lamang sa Manila 22-15.
Wala nang atrasan, he said with conviction, adding more firepower to his lineup. He confirmed that Mark Samonte and Steven Bautista are joining them tonight, hoping their presence boosts the team's chances. For him, this game is about more than just standings. It's about pride, pushing forward and proving that Manila will keep fighting no matter what. We hope we're gonna be witness more of that. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Especially they're playing at home. And si Max Samonte, he was a capable scorer when he was playing for I think last time, Makati, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yes. Makati was the last team that Samonte was on. That was a team that was filled with a lot of homegrown talent, mostly from University of Makati. And Coach Viz Valencia was still at the helm of that squad. That was my very first season in the league.
Sino nga may point guard nila dun?
I forget.
I apologize, but that guy was really somewhat, parang medyo John Fa-ish yung laro niya in terms of him being able to break down the defense, really playing fast.
Yeah, and the first ever game that I covered was actually Makati and Mindoro.
Okay.
So memorable teams, although not really memorable in terms of the names that they had on those rosters.
Kailangan natin maalala yun bago matapos. Well, later on, sige. 24-19 ang ating talaan. A minute gone by. Martin Gozong comes in. Jose Canlas with the basketball against Lars Sunga. Canlas tries right. Out of control on that attempt. Gozong going forward. Baliktad yung pektos. Buti na lang nandoon yung kanyang kakampi. Si Richard Velches.
Pinalitan niya na yung hairstyle niya.
Oo, pati may clean shave eh.
Actually, oo.
Diba? Hindi ko nga nakilala eh.
He really looks different.
Oh. Looks much younger.
Actually,
more youthful.
That might contribute to the different kind of energy that he's showing coming into this game. Kahit sa warm-up, medyo napapansin ko, mas focused siya.
Sa ilalim, Sunga. Tatakbo na naman ng Manila. But they will pull it back out. Steal here by Diputado. May bangga. Laban sa Manila. We go against Eusebio. John Calios. Martin Gozong can't hit the three. Samonte, his first appearance, grabs the rebound.
Shoutout pala natin si Master JK. John Calios, still very much involved with the Sarangani team, although not anymore as their head coach. He has given the area dito. Basta naman sa Maynila, expect mo yan. Pag basketball, dudumugin talaga yan.
And now, Sarangani with the possession. Carlo Escalambre fires and immediately buries a triple.
This is a guy that they need to see more consistently playing games for them this season. Ito si Carlo Escalambre. He's really battled through multiple injuries throughout the years and he's missed a lot of games. I hope that he finally gets to be on this team for a long stretch.
Lopez, short roll. But they will not get off a shot. Shot clock violation against the Manila Batang Quiapo.
And now we're slowly starting to see that defense that Coach Toto Trujillo is proud to bring to this Sarangani team.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
But of course, that can't take away from the sharp shooting and sniping of guys like Carlo Escalambre.
Carlo, that time a miss. Gozom able to grab the offensive board. Diputado drives middle, kick out pass to Escalambre who pulls up. It would pop out. Gozom again, and finally the stick back by Martin Gozom.
That's one of the reasons why they are one of the teams, or actually the team that gives up the most points this season, itong Manila Batang Quiapo. The inability to finish defensive possessions by getting a defensive rebound.
6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the second period. Great answer by Max Samonte.
The addition of Samonte to this lineup certainly gives them more scoring and some leadership as well.
Martin Gozum, 9 on their shot clock. Tried to locate Sunga, but a poor pass. Tatakbo si John Fa. Off to the races and lays it up and in.
Good forward pass there by Albo, and then remarkable ability by John Fa to slow down, not even having to dribble anymore, going to the rack.
Gozum absorbs contact. One and done. Oh, John Fa with a crossover. That's debutado to beat. John Fa pulls it back out to Albo. Samonte, laban kay Escalambre. Samonte beats him off the dribble. Gets it up to Lopez. No good. Debutado. Ooh. And Larsuma was cutting one way. Debutado sending that pass the other. Pass per the game brought to you by Extreme X Play. On the go speaker, take your music anywhere.
Saktong-sakto, you know, that is an art, the ability, or rather, making those forward passes. Talagang pinapractice yan.
Samonte hit a free earlier. 4 minutes and 43 seconds remaining here. 6 sa shot clock ng Manila. Achi, turnaround jumper off to the left. Sunga the rebound. 36-21 Sarangani. Hit Jimenez. Another, almost a turnover. In fact, it almost did. The save by Caliano. Ball remains with Sarangani as Lars Sunga getting out of the pack for the layup.
That was a crazy sequence. Ball going everywhere on the floor to anybody's hands, but still ending up with a Sarangani gripper basket. Manila already had the chance there, but Fa nonchalantly tried to reach for it. Kaya lang yung bola wala pa talaga dun sa malapit sa kamay niya. Kaya naabot pa ni Charles Caliano. And he was able to save it to Sunga, who got inside for the score.
Meanwhile, let's check in with Lyra Punsalan.
John Fa may be one of the youngest players on the Manila Batang Quiapo squad, but his maturity and teachable attitude definitely stands out. Tahimik lang, hindi mandaldal, but his game speaks volumes. Nakikinig lang talaga ako sa coaches namin. He shared simply true to his chill and shy nature. Despite his quiet demeanor, John is all in when it comes to improving and contributing. He's hoping that by giving his best and staying teachable, he can help lift up Manila in the standings. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. And hindi lang naman sa MPBL nagsama si Coach Maxi saka si John Fa, di ba?
Yes.
Even in the collegiate ranks.
Yeah, John Fa is a player of Coach Max, Philippine College of Criminology. Just like a lot of the players on this Manila team.
And now that he's in the pros, he's having that learning curve of what it means to be a true professional. And to si John Fa, Richard Albo, certainly one of the guys that he could learn something from.
Oh yeah, when you talk about professionalism in this game, Richard Albo is certainly one guy who can guide you and teach you. As we see that three by Carlo Escalambre, that's the second bucket from the outside in this game for Escalambre.
So yung pinagdaanan ni Richard Albo, parang dumaan sa butas ng karayan yan
mismo.
Parang maarating lang sa MPBL. John Fa given a golden opportunity at a young age. Ball will end up still with Manila, but only 2 seconds on their shot clock.
And, you know, for him to have a career as lengthy as Richard has had, he will have to continue to reinvent himself and find different ways of motivation, find different inspirations as he tries to traverse.
Not just for tonight's game, but with the playoffs in mind. Carlo is a piece for Sarangani, kaya kailangan i-preserve siya for bigger battles ahead. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. But he's been contributing and he's playing a handful of minutes today. Hit Jimenez. Buries a free from the top of the key. 39-28.
And two of the best shooters that Sarangani has had the past few years, having 2 threes each here in the first half. Jimenez and Escalambre, but the answer coming from Hawkeye at Inigo.
And Their mom still here.
Mom and dad.
Yeah, mom and dad. Jimenez. Pupukol na naman. Running start for Achi Inigo. Numbers here for Manila. The lob, John Fa. But can't get it to go. Kit Jimenez saving it to Lars Sunga. Sunga attacks. But can't get that shot off against Decoy Lopez. John Fa, sidestep. Wala pa din. Nakuha ni Calyano yung rebound. Tatakbo na naman dito sa Sarangani. Calyano, stop and pop jumper is good.
As expected, you know, these two teams playing still with that kind of pace and space that we predicted from the start.
41-31. Decoy Lopez, 12 seconds on their shot clock. John Fa. He's been having the number of Kit Jimenez in these offensive sequences that they're involved in.
Well, Kit's been having a hard time really to follow him and keep it step with him laterally.
Paco Arena in Manila. Sarangani versus Manila. And Sarangani Gripper with an 8-point lead, 41-33 over the Manila Batang Quiapo. Muli po Ken Pangilinan with Javi Palanya at courtside. We have Miss Lyra Punsalan. Now, masigit ko lang, Javi. Nahanap ko na. Si Hens Jokno pala yung teammate ni na binabanggit ko.
Yes.
Diba?
Tama.
I think he was one of the guys na could really break his defender down the dribble. Much like nga si John Fa, young guy. Pero yung John Fa kasi talagang 19 years old. And he's really had Kit's number, at least here in the first half.
But at least we're seeing Kit also being able to contribute for his squad in this game, and unlike previous outings where it was really a struggle for him.
This is Brillantes. Ooh, malakas yung pasa. Intended for Junji Alyari.
Bringing in too much weight from the weight room.
Big 8 turnovers ang Sarangani at Manila.
That's the price you pay with high-octane offense. There is definitely a high chance for you to turn the ball over.
Caraballos. Shut down by Junji Alyari. 2 seconds remaining. John Fa has to put it up. Rolls out. Brillantes grabs the rebound. Brillantes susugod. Lays it up and in.
It's a good, strong move from Brillantes. You know, one thing that they have been lacking, that inside presence aside from RV Bringas. When Bringas goes to the bench, wala na sila iba na pupuntahan sa loob. Maganda sana kung nakakapagsabay ito si Brillantes at si Bringas.
Albo goes right at Coy Alves.
He just went through it. The defense. Oh!
What a shot to beat the buzzer. How about that from Kit Jimenez?
Kit Jimenez already with a bunch of points in this game. Still 3 seconds on that game clock. Pulls up near the free throw line. That definitely is gonna count para kay Kit Jimenez.
Over John Fa at that. And Kit Jimenez brings this lead of Sarangani to 11 at the half, 46-35 over Manila.